Hello, and welcome to Whispers of Pain. Tonight, we enter the quiet suburbs of America, where behind manicured lawns and painted smiles, a family is about to collapse from the inside out. They were the perfect couple. At least, that's what the neighborhood thought. Michael and Laura Bennett, 10 years married, 2 children, a golden retriever, a white picket fence, matching smiles for every Christmas card. But behind closed doors, something inside their house had started to rot. It began with silence. Not the kind that comes from peace, but the kind that feels heavy, like the air itself is afraid to move. Laura would pour her morning coffee, eyes fixed on the same dark stain on the kitchen counter, while Michael scrolled through his phone, pretending not to see her tears in the reflection of the glass. They no longer argued. Arguing meant they still cared enough to fight. Now they just existed. 2 ghosts orbiting the same life. When Michael finally said, "I think we should end this," Laura didn't scream. She didn't cry. She just nodded, slow, deliberate, and whispered, "You already did." That was the start of the war. The lawyers came first, then the accusations, then the lies, dressed up as truth, sharpened like knives. Michael claimed she was unstable. Laura said he was cheating. He denied it, of course. But the truth? The truth was more complicated, because there was someone else. Not a lover, at least not yet, but someone who made him feel seen again. Her name was Danielle, the new paralegal at his firm. And when Laura found the messages, the late-night work texts, the blurry photos, the saved drafts never sent, something in her finally broke. By the time the divorce papers hit the table, everything was about ownership. The house, the car, the children, even the dog. Their lawyer sessions turned into battlefields. Every sentence another bullet, every sigh another scar. And through it all, their 2 kids, Emma, age 8, and Jack, age 6, sat quietly on the couch, coloring pictures of a family that no longer existed. The house on Willow Lane became a prison. He slept in the guest room. She locked the bedroom door. They spoke only through text, even when standing in the same kitchen. Then came the custody hearing. Michael thought he'd win. He had money, influence, a stable job. But Laura, she had something else. A recording. It was from 2 months before. A phone left on the counter, quietly capturing a moment no one was supposed to hear. His voice, raised, angry, slurred from too much whiskey. Her voice, trembling, begging him to stop shouting in front of the kids. Then a crash, a scream, glass breaking. He didn't hit her. He didn't have to. The tape made it sound like he did. In court, that sound was everything. The judge didn't see nuance, only noise, only guilt. Laura won full custody. Michael was left with weekends, supervised visits, and a home that no longer felt like his. Weeks passed. The papers were signed, the rings returned. The house on Willow Lane was listed for sale. But on the night before the movers came, Michael returned one last time. He said he just wanted to collect a few things, photos, clothes, whatever was left. Laura let him in. For a moment they just stood there, strangers surrounded by memories. The smell of her perfume still lingered in the hallway. His old jacket still hung on the chair. And on the fridge, beneath faded magnets, was a crayon drawing. A family of 4, holding hands, smiling under a blue sky. He turned to her and said softly, "Do you ever wonder where it all went wrong?" She didn't answer. She just stared at him, eyes empty, but calm. Then she said, "It went wrong the day you stopped loving me and pretended you still did." He nodded. tears he didn't expect burned behind his eyes. He wanted to tell her he still loved her. But lies had already ruined too much, so instead he whispered, "Goodbye." He turned toward the door, but before he could leave, Laura's voice followed him like a knife. "Check your phone." He froze. Slowly, he pulled it out. There was a video from an unknown number. He pressed play. It was Danielle, laughing, in his office, in his chair, wearing nothing but his shirt. The date stamp was from a month before. He'd even filed for divorce. He looked up. Laura was smiling. But it wasn't a smile of victory. It was relief. "Now we're even," she said. The next morning, police arrived at the house. A neighbor had called, said she heard shouting, glass breaking, maybe even a scream. They found Michael sitting in his car, hands shaking, engine running, the video still playing on his phone. They found Laura in the kitchen, alive, but trembling. A bruise on her arm and a cut across her palm from broken glass. No charges were filed. There wasn't enough evidence. Just two broken people and a story no one could untangle. The house was sold a month later. A new family moved in. Fresh paint covered the walls, but not the echoes. Because sometimes at night, when the wind hits the windows just right, you can still hear the faint sound of arguing. A woman's voice crying, a man's voice apologizing, and somewhere in between, the sound of a heart shattering. This has been Whispers of Pain, where love ends not with silence, but with the echo of everything left unsaid. Good night.